gonna hide. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm making videos for. Oh God, I hate this. Let me think here. I have an ant on me because I'm outside. This is really hard for me, so bear with me here. Okay, it's been almost 2 minutes and I haven't started here. Hi, I'm here to do a little video of 7 questions that were asked by the We Happy Trans people, and I think that's it. Yeah, and then I'm going to post this on my blog. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, which if it's YouTube is probably just about everybody on YouTube. My name is I'm normally known as Dissonance. We'll get to the name thing in a second. And I write a blog, dissonance.com, which you can now see below the screen because I'm going to add it in. And so what I did is, after finding out about this and after seeing a few others, I decided that I would go ahead and make a video. So in any case, let's get going. There are 7 questions. Now, I'm not going to read the question aloud because that takes too much time and I'm not up for it. So I'm going to put it below and you can see it, read it there when I answer it. Okay, so here's question number 1. It's a good question. So, what is my name? Well, my name is Antonia L. Dorsey. Most people call me Tony, and I'm known fairly well as Dissonance, or Dis for short. That all of in and of itself, especially when you consider that you have a picture of me right now, should pretty much tell you everything you need to know about the other stuff in the questions, like how I'd identify, if you want to talk about that or any stuff. The next question is, so this is a tough question for me, and when it came time to answer this thing and everything else, I did a lot of work on the internet because I prefer my blog and I prefer the written word. It's safer, it's easier, and I don't get distracted by. Now, it really comes down to the people who've been most supportive of me and my transition are ultimately other trans people. Some of them have been really great, some of them have been really odd, some of them have other stuff. But I don't have a ton of people that I would automatically say were most supportive, because how do you pick somebody who's most supportive when everybody has supported you in a different way? And I'm very kind of nuanced like that. I like to have and recognize that different people support me in different ways, and that when I come to a situation they would do. Well, when it came to my transition, which incidentally I am out of at this point, I'm not transitioning. I'm one of the people who feels that transition is something that's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I'm not so much one of the people that says transition is an ongoing process. Neither of those ideas are wrong. Don't get me wrong there. It's just that sometimes we have different ways of approaching processes and life. And for some people it's the same, and for some people it's different, and that's how it goes. But for me, my transition ended. And so for me to do that, I have to kind of look back at that time period. And I'm going to say that the person who was most supportive of me in that time was a woman named Regina Wells. She did more for me than most people in significant ways that otherwise I probably wouldn't have learned. And she did it for me at a point where I was at my absolute lowest. If you've ever read any of my blog posts, and if you haven't, you should, because I write some really interesting blog posts. Although, get a cup of coffee, soda, big bottle of water, whatever, because I write a lot and it takes a while, and I'm all parenthetical, and ugh, it's horrible. In any case, so that's my basic answer to the question of who's most supportive, who has been most supportive in my transition. So that leads us to question number 3. What do I enjoy most about my life since transition? Beginning transition. Okay. I get to be me. More than anything else. That's the key factor to me, is I get to be who I am. I spent a lot of time in my life not being who I was. And so for me, the thing that I enjoy most is being who I am. I learned a lot about myself because I didn't always understand this thing that was going on with me. And I wanted to understand, maybe it was caused by this or what that was or whatever. So I spent a lot of years figuring that out. And I ultimately ended up learning a lot about myself. And I know myself fairly well. But what's really cool about this is that I've learned a whole bunch of new things about myself. And I've been able to embrace more of the things that are me than I would have otherwise. So for me, the things that I couldn't do before, that I love to do now, the single most important thing, without any question whatsoever, is I get to be me in the story. I mean, that is it. Now, as for other things I get to do that I couldn't do before, that's kind of a big challenge. A lot of people don't always realize that I'm the sort of person who's never been limited so much by gender roles. I think that I need to really figure out that one a little more in depth than I have been, because I'm not sure. I can't think of things that I couldn't do before that I can do now. There were things that I wouldn't do before that I do now, but not so much that I couldn't do before. But then again, I'm into all that semantic, hardcore meaning, nasty stuff. It's a blogger problem. Anyways, question number 4. Okay, for my trans role models. Question number 4. Oh, this is a loaded question for me, isn't it? Let's see now. The best I can do is a no particular order kind of thing, and inevitably I will leave someone off. Also, it's me, so I can have the strange ability to respect people who have different viewpoints, even though that might not seem immediately possible, given my reputation. So with that, these are people that I admire and that I've looked up to, people that inspire me. I know some of them, most of them, and I don't know others. So these people are, and no, again, no particular order, and I know I'm going to forget like 5 dozen people, would be Regina Wells, Trudy Jackson, Tay Jackson, Renee Thomas, Erica Kepler, Rebecca Allison, Monica Roberts, Vanessa Foster, Sean Michael Geddes, Mason Davis, Boz, Lisa Harney, Little Light, Susan Straker, Amber of Amber Space, Diana Ruck, Mara Keisling, Isis King, and Janet Mock. Plus the woman whose life constantly makes mine seem kind of pathetic and sad. And that would be Marsha P. Johnson, because I admire her. And if there was a true role model, it would be her, but perhaps not in the way that people would expect. Question number 5. There's so many questions, I can't take it anymore. Okay. Anyways, what changes would I most like to see in the world? This can be trans-related or not. Okay, what you're asking is 2 questions. 1, what changes would I most like to see in the world? And 2, what are my passions? Well, when I was writing this out on my blog, which I did before I sat down here because I knew that I would be all distracted and funky and it would take forever because I'm really, really bad about this, I didn't read ahead. I actually have the benefit this time of having already gone through this and read ahead, and so I see that the next question is, what are we doing to make these changes happen? Look there, it's right there. See it? You guys got it? That's the question? Okay. Share with us how you're the change I want to see. You want to see. Well, let's see. I mentioned Regina Wells. Regina started up an organization. It took her 10 years to get it started, and then she held on to it for 4 more years, and then she sort of threw it at me, and that's what I do. That's where my passions lie, at least right now. That's where it represents the changes I want to see in the world. And what you're seeing right now next to me is the logo and the link, and probably a few other things depending on what I feel like throwing in there when I get around to editing this. Because 14 minutes right now. It's way too long for YouTube. I gotta edit it down. And there's this whole section you guys don't want to see anyways. So what I'm doing to make those changes happen is I work on this organization. This organization is based out of and operates in Phoenix, Arizona. And for those who haven't been paying any attention to the news at all, Phoenix, Arizona is not exactly a hotbed of liberal ideas. I guess would be the best way to put it. We have a very conservative state, and so there's been changes and new things happening, and it's generally made life more difficult for trans people. So what I do, and the people who work in the organization with me, because none of this is done alone, we all have to do it with other people to help. What we do, actually, is we work to make life better, and we do a whole bunch of different things, and if you go to the blog and read this, you can see some of that stuff. So the last question here, which I have to get the paper for me, you get to see it right there again. So okay. Anything special and unique about me? There isn't anything special or unique about me. I'm sorry, it's true. Nothing. My name. I'm Antonielle Dorsey. There just isn't. I'm pretty much just your average run-of-the-mill boring person. That's who I am. I guess the only thing I can think of that would be special or unique about me is that I am, after all, Empress of the known universe. But that's not really special and certainly not important. And besides, it's all based on my galactic ego. Yeah, it's huge. I have the most enormous ego you can possibly imagine. It's so big that I have to use another galaxy to hold it. It's that big. It's just enormous. At one point, it was threatening to shift the alignment of the planets in our solar system, and then it just got big, and it passed beyond that. So, yeah. I'm not sure that's a good, unique, and special thing about me. But there's your 7 questions. I just want to mention that I do support the We Happy Trans team, and I hope that this particular project of theirs has an enormous amount of success, despite the fact that I'm participating in it. So, y'all have a good day now, okay? Bye.